Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to do the classes lately have been a little bit of everything, but we are going to focus on upper body, opening up the shoulders and things like that. And then we're going to play with some balance work. So find yourself in a seated pose that makes sense for you. I'm going to sit in this variation of hero pose, taking my block and putting it underneath the sit bones, just for something different for aligning our spines. If you can sit this way, it does not hurt anything. Go ahead and do that. And if not, of course, sit in the way that makes sense for your body. And then start to kind of settle into your sit bones. Start to feel the spine open up. Start to feel the shoulders move back toward the side and back body so they're not rounded forward. And then just simply kind of glide the neck back or the head back a little bit without lifting your chin so that we can just start to feel some alignment. Close the eyes, let your hands rest wherever they make sense for you. And start to tap into your breath. Just feel your inhale, your exhale. And notice as you sit and at whichever seat you've chosen, notice that as you start to focus on the breath, does the body start to kind of curl back down, right? Do you start to lose your alignment when the focus is not specifically there? And even as you inhale and exhale, try to keep the chest somewhat lifted, right? So it's not an exaggerated lift or a press out of the chest. It's just that you're not allowing the chest to collapse and the front shoulders to roll in with your exhales. Taking a nice deep breath in and a nice deep breath out. Good. Few more right here as we start to settle into our yoga mats, as we start to get centered. And then place one hand at the low belly and one hand at the chest. We've been doing a little bit more pranayama these days, at the beginning of class. So right away, and it should be comfortable, like don't let your elbow hang out to the side. Let everything be really soft. And then roll the shoulders back and down again. You'll feel that chest lift a little bit. Hold it there. And as you inhale, feel the whole front of your body start to expand out into your hands. And feel that chest rise, but see if you can hang on to most of that chest rise as you exhale. Inhaling, the belly fills, the lungs, the chest. Hang on to most of that chest rise as you fully exhale. Good. 3 more, just like this. And 2 left. Last one. And then change the hand so that each hand is on the side of your ribs. And again, be mindful of the wrists, all that stuff. You can go to soft fists if the wrists don't want to bend quite that way. And this time, I want you to take a super deep breath into your hands from these lower ribs. Feel the side body expand, and then as you exhale, just a soft push back in. As you inhale, resist the hands a little. Don't be gentle here. Be gentle here. Exhale, softly press in. Good, one more. Exhale. And then release the hands, and two more with that rib expansion. See if you can feel that side body go, and exhale. Good, last one. And exhale. Good. Hands down to your sides. Inhale, reach up. I want you to exhale and push it down to your legs. Good. 4 more. Inhale. Exhale, push down. 3 more. Exhale down. And up. Good. Last one. And press down. No matter how you're seated, I want you to take your hands to your thighs. Take your shoulders up to your ears. Squeeze them up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then bend the elbows back toward a back wall to lower the shoulders. Good. One more. Take them up. Squeeze them up, all those tight muscles. And then as you exhale, the elbows go back. Good. Last one. Take it up. Cactus arms right here. Twist everything to your right. Breathe. Come center. Twist everything to your left. Inhale, center in, take the arms up. Exhale, left hand to right knee. Take your right arm behind. Open up both shoulders. Move both shoulders away from each other. And find your breath. Good. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, twist the other way. Open both shoulders away from each other. Watch that over tension in the head, the neck. Good. Center, inhale it up. Exhale, let it go. Whew, good. Roll it out. If you happen to be sitting on a block, go ahead and release that. Wherever your legs are, go ahead and shake them out. And then notice how you sit, right? So with the legs straight out, is it really difficult to not round into either your lower back or your upper back? If that's the case, let's sit up on a blanket, even 2 blankets, to get the hips a little bit higher. That should ease that pelvis so the pelvis can come into a more neutral or maybe a more anterior tilt. And then hands down to your sides, roll the shoulders back, a gentle press, either fingertips or hands, so that the shoulders stay back. Lift your right leg. Oh, here we go, everybody. Find your breath. Try not to round, especially in the shoulders. Breathe. Bring the knee in. Press it out. Squeeze. Good. Bring it in. Press it out. We're going to warm up quick today. Take it in. Press out. One more. Bring it in. Press it out. Hold. Lift your chest. See if the arms will go up. Breathe and lower everything down. All right, roll the shoulders back, hands pressed to the floor, Dandasana, stack pose. Lift the other leg. We are going to warm up quick. I can see the sweater coming off. Breathe, everybody. Reach the shoulders back. Try to lift from that chest. Remember that breathing thing? And then take it in. Press it out. When you press out, engage that quadricep. Bring it in. Press out. 2 more. Squeeze it in. Press it out. Last one. Squeeze. Press. Lift your chest. See if the arms will go up. Press down through the opposite leg and let it all come down. Shake it out, everybody. And then grab your strap. Does not take long, especially when you have the heat on. Good. So grab your strap. And to the best of your ability, I want you to take, again, I'm mirroring as I face you. So take your left leg into your version of Janu Sirsasana. So That foot is either pressing into the inner thigh, down lower, you know what to do. If your knee is hiked up off the floor, take one block underneath your knee and then roll your shoulders back. Take that strap around your right foot, level out your foot. So for me, that means I got to press that big toe out to get it more level. Hold on to your strap, pull the shoulders back. Now, kind of notice what's happening in the shoulder blades as we press back, right? So as I reach the shoulders back and broaden them out, I feel the back body start to engage. I want to hang on to that engagement and just bend the elbows back toward your waist or toward the back wall. Yep. And then bring the head back to alignment so that you're not reaching your head forward. Find your breath. That's it. Maybe you feel really comfortable here. Low backs are okay. I'm going to reach a little further toward my foot. Pull the shoulders back. Bring the head into alignment. Bend the elbows. Especially first part of class, right? There should be no hurry to get on with things, right? I want to see what this body's doing. I just traveled for 2 days. My legs are tight, right? You might have just gotten back from a walk or gotten out of bed and gotten your first cup of tea or coffee. So take a moment here and see. So once I've assessed this, I want to go one more time. Where is it for me? Shoulders pull back, elbows bend forward, back toward me, and maybe I can come a little bit lower. I'm gauging the stretch in the hamstring in this leg, but I'm also checking out what's happening with the rest of my body, right? Could you use that block, not use the block? And then slide up, pull the shoulders all the way back, squeeze, that strap is all the way back to your waist. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And let go. Good, switch sides. Take your right leg in, your left, or take your, yes, right leg in, your left leg extended. You can see I'm still waking up myself maybe. Square the foot. Don't pull real close to the foot yet. Keep that strap a little further up. Pull the shoulders back. Feel that first engagement. There are some of you watching that might stay right here and feel a great stretch in the hamstring and have a nice neutral spine. Okay, that's kind of what we're looking for. Just breathe. That's it. And then bend the elbows. Maybe the torso starts to come toward the leg. The head stays back in alignment. And breathe, everybody. So feel good here. Maybe the hands walk down the strap a little bit toward your foot. But I want to do the same thing. Can I keep the shoulders wide? Can I press through that strap and that foot? Tone through the belly, bring the elbows back toward the body a little bit. Yep, right. So one side usually tighter than the other. Maybe you notice that in your own body. Big deep breath. And then one more time, only if it makes sense for you. Reach closer to the foot. Bend the elbows, lengthen through your spine. Try not to round in either the upper back or the low back. That's it. Breathe, everyone. Squeeze between the shoulder blades. It's not going to be a big squeeze, but it's a squeeze. And then come on up slow. Pull the elbows back, back. Open up that chest and release. Good. Nice job, everybody. Take the strap out. Your blocks to the front of your mat. Come to table pose. Cushion those knees if you need to or if you want to. Don't forget about that. And then plant the hands. Actually, let's come down to elbows. I just changed my mind right on the spot. Come on down to elbows and softly interlace the hands. Maybe move your bottom pinky out of the way so you're not just leaning on that. and press the right leg back. Once you do that, I want you to tone in through the lower belly, lift the leg. Just hold right here. Point your feet. Breathe. Press into the leg that's on the floor. So press into that foot. Feel that nice squeeze of your belly. As you exhale, bring the knee in toward your chin. And release it up. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, reach. Good. 3 more. Squeeze it in, round. And lift. How much can you bring that knee in, depending on your knees? Up. Last one. Squeeze it up. Hold. I want you to press into your left hand, press into your right hand, lift into your hands. Tone your belly. This time I want the toes pointing down. Take the left arm out. Little bit of balancing table. Easy, easy. Big deep breath. You got it. Put the hand back to the floor, lower down to one elbow, lower down to the other elbow, and then let the knee go. Good. Shake out your hips and go to the other side. Left leg presses out, belly squeezes in, the leg lifts, the toes point. Pause here. How's that feel in your body? Maybe move that bottom pinky away so it's more tucked into the palm. Breathe, press into your elbows. Here we go for 5. Squeeze the knee in and lift. Toes pointed. Squeeze in and lift. This is 3. And 4. That's it. One more. Squeeze it in. Lift it up. Come to neutral. Here we go, right? Press into your right hand. Press into your left hand. Upper body work. Take the right arm out. Flex your foot. Find your breath. Nice tone everywhere. And release. Keep the leg. Lower one elbow. Lower the other elbow. Release your knee. Step your right foot back. Step your left foot back. Let's do a little plank here. You're on your elbows. Knees down is an option. Squeeze your belly. Find your breath. Yep, getting some warm up going. Woohoo! Don't forget your breath. That's it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your knees. Press into your hands. Draw the elbows wide. Shoulders wide. Last one for plank. Well, for now. No promises. Lift your knees optionally. Squeeze those shoulder blades. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog. Adjust your pose. Still feeling tight. Take the feet wider. Pedal your feet, everybody. Bend one knee and then the other. Start to shake out the hips. That's it. Your ears are pretty much by your arms. Like if I brought my ear to my arm, I could touch, right? Find your breath. Take your feet wide on your yoga mat. Walk your hands back. Open up your shoulders, bend your knees, hands come to your knees, the shoulders open again, and then come up to standing. Shake it out. Grab one block and your strap. Block's going to go between the legs. You can play with going long like this or going short. If you go long, try to feel that block all the way down to the edge. Really good feedback for a lot of us. And then take your strap. You'll see what's behind me here. And it's going to be as wide as you need it to be. Little shoulder opening here. Squeeze your block. Take the arms up. Maybe they go back, maybe not. And up. Yep. Get those shoulders woken up. There should be no pain here, right? You don't have to take them all the way back. You can just bring them a little bit back behind the head. That's okay, right? Find your breath. Oh, that feels good, especially after being in the car, right? Whew, or on an airplane. All right, take the arms up. I want you to bend the elbows and bring those arms back behind as much as you can. And then glide the chin back. So I'm not looking for a flat neck. I'm looking to try to get my ears more or less lined up with my shoulders. So the head's not out here somewhere. And then take a deep breath in. Feel the chest rise. Keep that rise of the chest. Exhale it out. Yeah, good. One more. Inhale, big deep breath. Exhale, keep that rise of the chest, but let the breath go. Take the arms up. Let's go to one side. Just stretch out that side body. And the other side. Oh, that feels good. Take it up. Bring those arms in front of you. Just set your strap aside, but hang on to your block. So as we squeeze this block, right, we engage this whole inner line of the legs. And I want you to just spread out your toes, spread out your feet. And notice how that feels. Good squeeze of the block. Inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, you're going to come halfway down, but those thumbs are going to go into the hip creases. So don't come all the way forward. Halfway down, the thumbs dig deep into the hip creases. You press those hip creases back, and then see if you can draw the elbows, point them more up toward the ceiling. And extend your torso, like as long as you can. Maybe you even shimmy those hips a little bit to see how far you can get the torso out in front of you. And breathe. And then release the hands, but release them to your shins. You're still squeezing your block. I want you to press your hands into your shins, but resist that. So the shins actually press back a little bit. Open up the shoulders. Lengthen your torso. Tone your belly here. Take a deep breath. Exhale it out. Good. One more. Inhale. Exhale it out. Maybe you come a little bit lower and those fingertips come to the floor. Maybe not. Maybe that is not where you should be. You're staying halfway up. But if your hands come to the floor, I want you to roll those shoulders open. Extend through the neck, but don't look up, right? You should have a nice extension through your head, your neck. You're squeezing the block. The low belly comes in. Take a deep breath here. Exhale it out. Hands go to shins, come halfway up. Hands go to hip creases, thumbs. Press back as you lift all the way up. Whoo, squeeze your block. Whoo, yeah. And let go, shake it out. Got that same block in your hand. Your legs, I'll let you decide for you. They can be straight up, they can be wide, or they can be in a squat, right? We talk about leg strength all the time. So why not add that little bit in if you can, if your knees will allow you to? Spread the toes. Yep, from big toe to pinky toe, make it wide. You've got a block in your hand. I want you to take the block behind you so that it's wide and press the shoulders back, press the arms back. So I'm just hanging on to both sides of my block here, right? As I reach, you can use the fingers, but don't grip. Don't grip your block. Open up the shoulders. And then see if the elbows will bend, as if you could slide that block up your back and then back down. And slide up. Here's the trick. If you slide up and you roll forward, then don't slide up so much. One more, up and down. Grab the strap. I'm mirroring here. So grab the block With your right hand, open it up. Take it to the center, open wide. Switching hands. Take it behind you as if you had to get around a ball behind you. So you're staying way back. Take it out. Switch hands in the center, open. Take it around as big far back as you can. Squeeze, open. Good, we're going to change directions. Take that right hand behind your back, open, open, open. And take it to the left. Bring it center, open. This is slow work on purpose. Squeeze it like you could just barely get around that big ball behind your back. Open it up. Last one, center, open. Do you feel it? Squeeze, 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 squeeze it back. And release. Take that block to center. Straighten the legs if they were bent that whole time. Shake out your hips. And then heel toe your feet in so they're more hips width apart. Okay, I'm going to turn sideways here. And I want you to take that block to your upper chest. Your feet are roughly hips width apart. Think of, you have to hang on to the block, but I want you to think of that kind of that C clamp that we did, okay? So keep the chest tall. Inhale right here. Exhale, little baby squat as if you were going to do chair pose. Now, where does your chest go in this pose, right? Again, knee stuff, you're mostly up. See if you can have a little bend in your knees, but elbows reach back, back body engages, the head glides back. I'm not going to let my chest collapse. From here, hands on either side of your block. See if you can reach it up. If that hurts your shoulders, come more in front of your chest than high. Press the knees out away from each other. Press the feet out away from each other. Find chair pose. Take the block in one hand, reach it behind you. Hold on to the block, open the shoulders. Woo! Yep, keep breathing. Take the torso forward, straighten the legs. Your breath. Some of you are going to be able to come to forward fold and lift that block up toward the ceiling. Listen up. Bring that block closer to your hips, halfway up, halfway. Start to lift the chest. Take the block back to the front of your chest. Hang on to it like it's your best buddy and stand up. Release, shake it out. So what happens a lot in yoga poses is that we don't think about the chest and we collapse it, right? So that's what we're playing with. So come to the front of your mat. That chest goes back to the block goes back to your chest. Your feet are your hips width apart. Kind of look forward, not necessarily up, but forward. Hold onto your block, squeeze the shoulder blades, bend your knees. Lift your right heel off the floor, and then squeeze the belly as you step back to your length. Doesn't have to be anybody else's. Now, as you stretch this front, the front of your right leg, some of you are going to be here, right? And it has more to do with psoas than it does your ability to lift your chest. So if that's the case, try bending your back knee. Then lift the chest, right? Both harder, but effective for getting that chest rise. Keep that. See if the leg will straighten any. It's more about the psoas, so don't worry about it. Keep a soft bend in the knee if you want. Hands go to blocks. The arms go up. Find your breath here, warrior one. Breathe. Take the block in one hand. Reach it behind you. Reach it back away from that imaginary ball. Lean forward. Yep. Maybe lift the arms a little bit. Big deep breath. Reverse, everybody. Block down toward your sacrum. Lift your chest. Take the arms up. Bring it back to your chest. Physically press that block to your chest and stand forward. Step forward. Shake it out. Good job, everyone. Here we go. Side two. Side number two. And just kind of feel your shoulders here, right? They're just kind of releasing down as you keep the chest lifted. All right. Find your breath, feet or hips width apart, your belly tones. Draw the shoulders back, draw the elbows back. Inhale when you're ready. Bend into your knees. Notice, right, this little baby chair pose. If you want to roll forward. If you do, don't go so deep. Hands to blocks, to block, take it up. Now your normal might be wider. So if you need to go wider, just hold on to the block and separate the hands. I get it. Roll the shoulders back, tone the belly. You got it. Here we go. Block goes back to your chest. Peel your left foot. Try not to over dip the chest as you step back. Your length does not have to be this long. Your chest is here. Maybe bend your back knee. Lift the chest. Right? Now you got some room to play. And then see if the leg will straighten more. Doesn't have to. Once you're there, arms up, warrior one. Front knee is bent. If your back foot is dropped, great. If that hurts, keep it more straight. Find your breath. You got it. Take your hands to your chest. Lean forward. C-clamp to that front hip, drawing it back. Take the block in one hand, reach it behind you. Press, press, press. And breathe. Oh yeah, starting to feel those legs, everybody. Release the block, take it back to your chest. Lift your chest up. Take the arms up, stretch it out. And then back to your chest, physical touch. Push forward, step forward, shake it out. So kind of notice, right, how that's feeling in your body. And then step sideways on your mat. Apologies there. Shake out your hips. Block goes to chest. It's like a pillow, only a really hard square pillow. Keep that there if you can. Roll your shoulders back. Almost squeeze the elbows to your side body. Imagine that C-clamp. Come halfway down. Soft knees, really soft. Don't pop them back at all. And then imagine that your hips are going one way, the torso or the crown of the head going the other way. And breathe. If you're okay here, I want you to take the block to the floor. Roll your shoulders back. Find your breath. All right, block is in your left hand. Take it out to the side. Reach it behind your back. You can rest it on the sacrum. Reach the other hand out. Take it out and drop. Opposite direction. Right arm out. Reach it behind to your sacrum. Grab it with the other hand. Take it out and release down. Good. Left arm out. Take it behind. Reach it out. Take it down. Last one. Out to the side. Maybe to the sacrum. Out to the side and down. Once you're down, pause. Some of you halfway up. Some of you, the elbows start to bend, going into a deeper forward fold. Watch the knees. Some of you are going to come to elbows on that block. Find your breath. Honor your body here. Keep the back neutral. Little bit of tone to the belly, that deep C-clamp in the hips. We're going to reverse. Hands come to block. You're going to bend your knees a little. This is the harder part. You're taking that block to your chest, and then you're pushing that block in the chest to lift up. Nice job. Take the legs together, shake them out. Take the block between your legs. Just give it a good squeeze. Okay, kind of a little counter pose to what we just did. Just good squeeze here. And release it. All right, come on back to the front of your mat. My mat's kind of slipping. Here we go. So we're going to do what we just did. We're going to add on a little bit. Your second block might want to be to the front of your yoga mat. So you have it there if you want it. Block to chest. What's the shoulders doing? Pull them back, elbows heavy toward the floor. Find your breath. Your feet are hips width apart. Inhale right here. Exhale your squat. Press the legs away from each other. Press the knees away from each other isometrically. And breathe. Here's the big, for me, if I don't tone in my belly, I'll overarch my low back. So you got to find the happy place there, right? Where that tailbone's heavy. Stay here if you can. Reach the block up. Find your breath. Starting to get these legs going. No kidding. Take that block back to your chest. Lift your right heel. Step back to your level. Your back knee. More work, right? Torso comes up so that it's right over the hips. And then see if the leg will straighten some. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. Take the arms up. Find your breath. Soften the shoulders down. Feel the back body squeeze. Take that block to the back of your head. Press the elbows out as you press the head back. Don't lift the chin. Woo! Take the arms up. Here we go. Torso forward. Reach the block behind you. Take it with the other hand. Reach. Block to chest. Lift up. Take it up. Step forward. Woo! And release. And shake it out. Let's see if I can remember all that on the other side. Right? So what are we doing is we extend that body out. When we're here, no problem, right? Here, no problem. Here, a whole lot more work. So just kind of notice, is it too much? Do we need to back off a little bit? Do we need to engage a little? Just play. All right. Round 2. Deep breath. Blow it out. When you're ready, come into your squat. Press the knees away from each other, as if you had a wall on either side of those knees and you're just gently keeping them out there. Arms up, optional. Find your breath. Oh yeah, keep pressing through those heels, everybody. When you're ready, hands to chest, lift your left heel, step back. Your level can be short or long. Bend your back knee, bring the torso up. Maybe you straighten, maybe not. Then take the arms up. If you have a soft bend in that back knee, awesome. Breathe. I know. Good. Either leave the arms up here or take them back to chest. Tilt forward. Whoo! See? That front leg takes a whole bunch more here. When you're ready, block goes behind. Reach the arms back. Take it forward again. Lift the torso up. Woo! Hands come to chest. Push forward. Shake it out. Take a deep breath, everybody. Roll out your shoulders. We got one more round. We're going to add one more thing. You decide for you, okay? All right. Hands to chest. So, right, we've been doing this a lot. Don't forget why we're doing it. It's this, right? It's like, oh, get those shoulders up. Get that chest up. Open up your heart. All right, come into your squat. Breathe. Find it for you, right? Let your yoga be about your body, what you can do, not do. No judgment, just take care of your bodies. Reach the arms up. Find your breath. Oh, yeah. Already I'm feeling that. Hands come back to chest, roll the shoulders, lift your right heel. Step back. All this we've been doing already, so you know. Bend your back knee. Bring the torso back. Straighten the leg to your level. Take the arms up. Warrior one. Big deep breath. I know. See if the arms will go forward. Breathe. Take the block behind you. Hold. Press the arms back, everybody. Here's where it gets a little trickier. I want you to press the arms straight back. See if you can straighten the front leg. You can rest that block on your sacrum. I like that one as well. Elbows point more towards ceiling. Breathe. Deep C clamp in your front leg. Bend your front knee. Hold on to the block behind you. Reach it forward. Stand it up. Step forward. Shake it out. Find your breath. I feel like my little clock there is stopped, but maybe not. Let me just look. Oh, yeah. Okay. Good. Roll your shoulders. We're going to go to side two. To chest. Roll the shoulders back. Feel that chest lift under your breath. When you're ready, come on down. Press the legs away from each other. Tone the belly in. Reach the arms up. This is becoming piece of cake, right? Breathe. Hands come to chest. Lift the left heel. Step back. Bend your back knee. See if you can sit that torso right above the hips. Then straighten the leg. Reach the arms up. Warrior one. Breathe. Either the arms come in for more stability or they stay lifted. Reach forward. Deep C clamp to that front hip, everybody. Take the arms behind you. Press the shoulders back. Stay here. Breathe. One, you're here. Two, that's enough. Three, you're going to see if you can straighten that front leg. Press the block into your sacrum. Really nice way to do this. Open it up. Breathe. All right, lift the block off. Bend your front knee. Take the block forward. Lift the arms up. Take that block to your chest. Step forward. Holy moly. Walk it out, walk it out, walk it out. Go wide on your mat. Find your breath. Listen up. Listen up, everybody. Instead of that block coming to your chest, I want you to take it to the low belly, like right there between your belly button and your pubic bone, right there. Hold it here. Draw the elbows back, tilt forward, and breathe. Some of you are going to be able to kind of hang on to that block and then let your hands come to the floor. Not an easy thing to do. Otherwise, you're holding onto the block, pulling the elbows back, letting your hands kind of rest on your thighs. So breathe. That's it. From here, halfway up, grab your block if you were able to let go of it. Take it to your sacrum. Hands to sacrum, right hands to block. Pull the shoulders away from the floor. Push into your block to lift up. Feel how much openness we get with those shoulders. If you feel like your shoulders are rolling forward, lower the block. Bring it more to your bum, right? And see if you can just pull the shoulders back. and then release it. Release the block. Step the legs together. All right. Last one here. We're not doing that whole round. We're going to just take what we have hopefully learned and we're going to bring it back into a little bit of a balanced pose. So you might want to be near your wall, right? Near your chair, something like that. The block is here. You're going to come down to your squat. Lift the right heel, but listen up. You're not taking a big step back. You're taking a short step back. And then lean the torso forward. Take the block to your sacrum. Press your hands into your block. Open up your shoulders. From here, 1, you're here. 2, you're coming to your big toe. 3, you're just going to see if you can lift the back leg. Find your focus point. Woo. And breathe. That's it. Bend the front knee, release the back leg. Lift the chest, open your shoulders. Release the block, take it up and forward. Step forward to a little baby squat and stand up. Squeeze your butt. So when we do these kind of back, forth, I really like to kind of recenter, either squeeze in a block, squeeze in the glutes, just to get us back on track. All right, other side, and this is the end of this part, okay? Hands to chest, roll the shoulders. Deep breath in. Exhale, come on down. Your squat. Good, if you can, take the arms up. Hold the arms up. I may or may not have done that on the other side. Lift the left heel. Step back, short step. Take the block, reach it behind you. Press it into your sacrum, maybe even a little lower. How's that feel in your shoulders? Can you lift the chest and pull the shoulders back? Breathe. All right. 1, lean forward. You're on your big toe. 2, see if you can lift the leg. And breathe. Block gives you tons and tons of feedback. Bend the front knee, step down, lift your chest, reach the block up. Step forward, little squat, knees out, stand up, squeeze your bum, release your block. Nice job, everybody. Set your block down. I'm going to just take a little sip of water. So it's interesting, anytime we travel, can take our bodies a little while to kind of get back into things. And I can hear my breath, which doesn't usually happen. So I'm going to blame it on the elevation change, even though it's not much. How's that for passing the buck? All right, shake it out. So what I want to do here is balance work. So you might want to be near a wall, but what it also is just daily functional movement. So the first thing I want you to do, and please be mindful of in fact, let's start at the back of the mat. Be mindful of your particular balance issues. All we're going to do, this is going to seem so easy. We're going to purposefully walk to the front of our mat. That's it. Easy stuff. And then we're going to purposefully walk backwards, small steps. Now, if you had a tendency to look down, see if you can look out. Let's just do that one more time. We're really on, this is really like stall time, just so our legs can recuperate a little bit, but not really. Step back. Good. So now you're back at the back of your mat. Your hands can either be down or they can be at your hips. I want you to kind of look forward, but I want you to think about a bigger step forward. So a soft bend in the knees, Lift your left heel, step forward, and then step. One more step if you got the room, and forward. Move stuff out of the way so I can expand if I want. And then take the same left leg, bend the knees a little, step back. Here's the harder part for me. Step back. Step back, push off to step back. How'd that do? Little longer if you can. If you cannot, longer for you is different than longer for me, right? I got these long legs. So your interpretation. Soft knees, listen up. We started with the left leg, we're starting with the right. Step forward and up. Step forward and up. Right leg starts, step back and push off. You notice one side easier, right? And step off. You're back at the back of your mat. Left leg steps forward one step. Long as you want. How long can you go comfortably, right? And then hold it. Take the arms up. Breathe. Take the arms down. As you push those arms down, I want you to step forward. Right leg, no, left leg. Soft knee, step back. Take the arms up. Breathe. Arms down. Here's the hard part. I made a big old step back. How do I get back? Oh, step back. Last one here, right side. When you're ready, as big a step as you want, step forward. Arms up. Breathe. As you press the arms down, push off, step back, and then shake it out. Those are things we do all day long, right? We gotta figure out, how do we step? So middle of your mat, turn sideways, open up your shoulders, hands come to your hips, take your left leg out, step it in. Good, take your left leg to center, step your, or right leg in, step your left in. Go left or go right again, step in. Go the other way, step in, other way, step in. Out, out, out. Just play. How wide? How much do you need to bend your knees? How much do your hips get involved? Right? Breathe. All right, next time. Left side, pause. Right foot steps in, left foot steps in and lifts. Woo! Yeah, I know, right? Squeeze your glute. Step it down. Right leg steps again. As your left comes in, it steps, it lifts. I told you it was balance work. Now, 1, you step down and step to center. 2, you go from a lifted leg, step center. As you take that right leg in, lift it up. Breathe. Step it down. Left leg over. Step it up. Woo! It's okay. So the work is getting that balance, right? It's not about sticking it right away. It's about, how do I recover from this? And then just step it down, shake it out. Good job, everybody. Come on up to the front of your mat. Hope that made sense to you. Inhale it up. Exhale down. Step back to downward facing dog. Plant the hands, spread the fingers, open up the shoulders, but lots of shoulder integrity. You should feel those upper back, upper shoulder muscles working to help you in this pose. Come to plank. Knees up or knees down. Find your breath. Lower down to one elbow. Lower to the other elbow. Plank on elbows, knees up or down is okay. Find your breath and breathe. We got this, everybody. Breathe. Come on. Lower the knees. Release the feet. Come down to Sphinx pose. Open the arms. Elbows are under shoulders. And just kind of roll it out, shake it out, stretch your bellies. And breathe. Ooh, yeah. And then drop down between the shoulder blades. So the shoulders kind of hike up. You squeeze between the shoulder blades. Your chest got closer to the floor. And then very purposefully press into your forearms to widen the shoulders to lift the chest. 2 more. It's a slow down. And it's a press up. Good. 1 more. Slowly come down. Really try to tune into those muscles between the shoulder blades. You have trapezius muscles there, rhomboids, amongst other muscles. Press up, lift up. Spread those shoulders apart. And then lower all the way down. Bend your knees, windshield wiper your legs. That's it. And then release. I want you to come back to table pose. Press up. I know, right? She's like, no, it should be done. I know. Spread through your hands, right? Engage those upper backs and shoulders. Your knees are under your hips. The knees can be back a little bit if you need to. And then same thing. I want you to sink between the shoulder blades and then press up. It's like these weird little mini push-ups. Tone to the belly. Drop down. Squeeze up. Last one. Drop down. And squeeze up. And when you've squeezed up, your head, neck are neutral. I want you to press into the hands. Open up the inner elbows so that your inner elbows, which are that little spot there, right, are roughly facing your thumbs. Kind of a good guide there. And breathe. See if you can lift one heel of your hand and then press it down. Lift the other heel, press it down. Flip toes under. Optionally here, lift your knees. Tone your belly. If you're not having any of this, keep the knees down. It's okay. And then drop through the shoulder blades and press out again. Just 2 more. This is hard. Down and up. Last one. Down and up. Straight in the legs. Downward facing dog. Maybe walk the hands in place. What? Right? Lift one hand, then the other hand. All right. Good job, everybody. Engage again. Shoulders engaged. Start to lower the knees. See if you can hover just for a sec, or 2 or 3 or 4. Breathe. Lower the knees. Lower to your elbows. Step one leg back. Step the other leg back. Last plank, I promise. 5, 4. It's even a short plank, right? 3, 2, 1. Knees down. Belly down. Sphinx pose, everyone. And breathe. We're on the home stretch. Just breathe. If you have, if you can reach your blocks, just have one block nearby. And then come on down to your belly. And really lengthen your tailbone. So to lengthen the tailbone, I press down toward the edge of my pubic bone, right? That gives my low back lots and lots of space. I'm gonna move my glasses out of the way. Drop your forehead down to your hands. Your hands are resting on the floor, one stacked on top of the other. And just pause here for a second. Place it doesn't matter. So whichever hand is on top, right? Both palms are face down. Whichever hand is on top, Imagine that you just glued it to your forehead, and I want you to raise your head and your arm, keeping them together. So here we go. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, just lift like you're like, oh, woe is me, right? And lower down. Stay on this side. 4 more. Press down to the pubic bone. Lift the upper body. 2. And down. 3. Yep. And 4. Last one. And 5. Switch hands, but just pause for a second. Shake out the hips. Notice if you let that low back go, right? I'd keep a nice little tone there through the glutes, tops of the feet, not overly. You don't want to over squeeze. All right, so whichever hand's on top, here we go. Slow for 5. Lift up and down. And 2. And down. Maybe you can lift a little higher, maybe not. 3. And 4. And 5. And down. Just pause, shake the hips. Press into the tops of the feet, lengthen the tailbone. We have 5 more this time. The hands stay together. All right, so inhale first. Here we go. Lift up. 1 and down. 2 and down. If your legs naturally lift, go ahead and let them lift. 3, 4. Yep. Last one. 5 and down. Shake it out, everybody. And then if you have your block, grab your block, place it on your sacrum. Last bit here. Just let it rest there for a second. And even with the block there, so if it's resting on your sacrum, not your low back, lengthen your tailbone and maybe you feel the block shift a little bit. So remember when I said earlier, if you were pressing your hands into your sacrum and your shoulders just felt all scrunchy? Same thing here. If your shoulders get scrunchy, lower the block lower, maybe onto the glutes instead of the sacrum, okay? So the first thing I want you to do is just lift your head and neck a little bit and pull the elbows back as you lengthen your belly forward. So I want a lot of length in the front body. And then lower down, reach back, and just see if you can find any purchase on your block. It can be the side, it can be the top. If it feels like crap on your shoulders, remove the block. All right, here we go. And I had to lower mine a little bit, lower my block a little. Press into your sacrum, press into your pubic bone, and see if you can lift your upper body any amount. If you got that, grab your block, reach it back as if you could touch that block to your feet. Lift your feet. Here we are, locust pose, full back body workout. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. Set your block down. Shake out your hips. Whew. So this one might require just a little gymnastic-y thing. Not really, I shouldn't say that. All I want you to do is take your block. Maybe you got to turn to your side. I want you to take that block between your feet, your ankles, kind of your shins, and then lay back down. It can be narrow, it can be second width. You can just fuss with your feet and get it right. I should have cued the other block, but I forgot. So try to find that, and it's right between your feet. So if you lifted up your feet, you could hang on to your block, okay? And lower down. And then just lift and lower a couple times. Again, I know with the knee issues, you just take care of your knees, okay? And if the block feels funky, maybe you go wider instead of I have mine on second width. All right, next time the knees are bent, I want you to hold. Lengthen that front belly like we did before. Press down through the pubic bone and make sure that low back is nice and long. So 1, you're going to be here. 2, you're going to come into a Sphinx pose and breathe. And that's kind of an interesting option, right? To be here. 3, you're going to lower, reach back, find ankles, squeeze the block, lift the knees. Optional, lift the torso. Find bow pose. That's it. Breathe. Lower the knees. Lower the legs. Woo, shake it out. Just kind of kick your block out of the way. And breathe, everybody. All right. So we're going to come on to our backs. I want you to just have both blocks nearby. Okay, so that when you roll over, you have them easily accessible. Come down to your back. Keep your knees bent. Grab one block. Take it the widest width between your knees, and then just squeeze the block. This is another one of those resets that I learned from another teacher. It might have been Stephen Weiss, I'm not sure. Steve Weiss. But it should feel good. It's just like we've just done tons and tons of work with these hips going in different directions. And it's one of my favorite ways to just pause and then unsqueeze, and then one more big squeeze here. That's it. Bring your knees toward your chest. Take that same block between those shins again. Take the legs up toward the ceiling. Hands under sacrum, awesome, right? If you would like that, do that. The other thing we played with last week that you can play with here is to grab the sides of your yoga mat, but then try to push the yoga mat away from you and notice how that lengthens your torso. Shoulders are down. You're just squeezing that block, everybody. Tone the belly only if you want. Take the legs down a little bit. So core work. Keep pulling that mat away from you to keep the torso long so you don't just arch. Breathe. Take the legs up. Exhale. Take the legs low. Your choice. How low you go is so up to you. Do not go into your lower backs. Again, right? Public service announcement. Take the legs up. We got one more. Take them down at your diagonal. Either the hands are under sacrum or you're pulling your mat away from you. Breathe. Take them up. Everybody take those hands under sacrum. Hold on to your block. Squeeze your belly and slowly, slowly, slowly let those legs come to the floor. If you can wait, bring the knees to chest. Take them up. Slowly release toward the floor. Squeeze them into your chest. Last one. Slow, slow, slow. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And bend the knees. Grab your block, set it aside. Keep it near you for Shavasana. Knees are to chest. Nice little practice there, hopefully. All right, let's come into a nice, sweet little twist. Feet to the floor, shift your hips to the right. Knees back toward chest, lower the knees toward the left. Once again, a block under knees or between the knees. Really be just nice, just a nice option. right? We don't always have to do them the same way. And I remember reading a quote. I was doing a hip workshop and it said, just because you can doesn't mean you should. so so maybe we just take it down a notch and have the block between our knees. That settles the hips a little bit. Big deep breath. There you go. See, relax your face, your jaw, your belly. And just let this twist calm your whole nervous system down. Let it just settle you into the floor, into your mat. Feel your breath coming back to neutral. That's it. If you have the block between your knees, just take your hand to that block and press your top knee back up. I'm pressing the block into my knee, and then let your other knee follow. Both feet to the floor. You're going to shift your hips through middle and over to the left. Bring your knees toward your chest. Lower the knees to the right. You can have that block between the knees. The chest, shoulders open up and spread wide. The back of the neck is long, the chin is not overreaching. Where you have your head turned is completely up to you. I really like a more neutral neck in the twists. Deep breath, everyone. Feel your chest rise. Feel how it stays nice and lifted. Soften everything. And again, if you have that block between your knees, just hold on to it, press it against that inner knee, lift that knee up, take the other knee up with it. Release your block, bring your hips back to center. I am reaching for my socks. So we're getting ready for Shavasana. If you happen to be in a warm spot, you won't need socks. If you're a little chilly in your house or wherever you are, maybe you put something on to keep you warm. And what I like about the blocks in Shavasana, and just try it and see if it works for you. So, with your knees bent, I want you to take the blocks right underneath the base of where your behind ends and um, your thighs start. So it's just sitting right behind or below your glutes. And then from there, straighten one leg and then straighten the other. What that does, it causes this nice bend in the knees without something behind the knees, and it softens, hopefully, the pelvis down to the floor so that your back is super neutral. If that works for you, awesome. If it doesn't, you can try the blocks behind the knees. I find that a little harsh. Or just go with no blocks at all. It's okay. And then feel the shoulders descend down toward the floor. If you can, the palms are face up, the shoulders are down. Your head, neck is neutral. And you just fall into your Shavasana here. And maybe as you start to settle into Shavasana, you allow a soft smile to come across your face. You feed the body those messages of good and happy and joy. We feed that part of the nervous system that allows us to rest and relax. And then we let the breath soften. We let the body soften. And as your mind wanders, just try to let it go. Just try to soften. It can be easy when when our bodies are resting for our minds to chatter. Just breathe, everyone. For those of you ready, let's start to wiggle your toes, your fingers. And ever so slowly bend your knees. Rock those knees into your chest, going side to side until they roll to one side or the other. And then curl all the way up. Pause in your seated pose. Bring your hands to your heart. Bow to your inner goodness, your inner strength, your inner compassion. Let that be the energy you bring out into the world. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, everybody.